What's up, guys? So I'm live streaming for the second time today. The only thing is, the first time I did it, the microphone had no sound coming into it, which meant that I sat and spoke for about half an hour with no sound coming out. So that was great, but it's good because I'm doing this live streaming and learning how I do it on the job, which means that hopefully it's a mistake I'll only make once, and I've already made it. But I'm just going to check that actually we've got sound coming through. So let's see what's what. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so please, if anyone's on there, if there's any problems with it, please let me know, and I will amend. So yeah, so the track I'm working on is this track here. So this is the advantage of using Trello. God, look at all these apps I've got open. Just close these down. Um, sorry about this. Just want to make sure that I haven't got too many things running. Okay, so the app Trello, yeah. So this is the advantage of using Trello, is that I can just have a little listen to where I left off before. So let me just go to my sound preferences and make sure I'm auditioning through the streaming software, which I am. And let's have a listen to how I left this. Okay, so that's how I left things. And if you remember, I was working on this last week and I did the keys. Remember, I was going through playing in slash chords essentially. So the track is in the key of D major or B minor, which is the relative minor, and I just hammered away playing B and then just playing different chords from D major over the top to give us that nice kind of jazzy feel. And then I just did some little embellishments over the top, and that gave us this. So back in Trello, I did leave myself a little note of what to try. So plug in bass for notes, recording myself, do a session with Chris. So plug in bass for notes is just to do a jam on the keyboard playing bass. Recording myself is to grab my jazz bass and try myself. And then session with Chris, I think I'm going to do tomorrow, which is my Australian friend Chris Pearson, who's a great bassist. Maybe just see what comes out if we do some recording with him. But if I find something great now, then maybe I won't need to do that. But let's have a look. So I've got a bass line in there already, but in fact, let's just work with what we've got. So at the moment, this bass line is just hammering away on that B, from what I can remember. B, sorry. So this is kind of just following the sample, the looping sample that's playing. That's got a G in the bass. Where is it? This loop here. That's starting to feel a bit clashy because it's going against the chords. But what I could do is follow the chords in terms of the note that changes in the bass. So this is just playing octaves on that B, and you can see these are the bass notes of the chord that are changing. So it's going from a G to an F sharp. Yes, go from G to an F sharp and then to an E. So I could try doing that in the bass and see what comes out. So let's try that. So G to an F sharp. I can use my Command. No, I can't. I can use Alt and downwards arrow to move them quick and easily. This one's going down to an E. And then let's have a listen. So I've got my offensive guitar playing, which I'm going to mute. That needs some heavy editing, or maybe just deleting. But what I will do is listen to it and see what's wrong with it and see if I can improve it, which helps me get better next time. So that works quite well, but I don't feel like it's got the character that I need in it. And I think if I'm going to go down that road of having quite a straight bass line like that, I want to try recording Chris playing something. Let me just try getting this looping. There's a little sample which I love that comes in and it says, holding on to a memory, which I really like, and I want to build the track around that a bit because I just think it's really, you know, everyone's held on to a memory before, and I just think it's a really evocative kind of lyric and melody as well. To a memory. To a memory. We got these nice guitars as well. Yeah, so I actually like that. I really like that. So, but I'm going to part that because I think that's, as I said, going to be something that needs a live bass on it. So I'm going to try doing a little jam. I'm going to do this just on this basic patch in Massive, but down here under the table, I have Patch Bay, and over here, as you can probably see, I've got some synth. So what I'm planning on doing is just getting some MIDI in there and then maybe having a little jam with the Moog and this Eventide Rose pedal, which is a really nice analog delay pedal, and just doing like some kind of little slapback Moogie bass vibe going on. So, but I might have to stop the stream and start it again just so I can set up the Patch Bay. But anyway, that's not important. Okay, so let's open Massive. I want a bit more going on with this in terms of frequencies, harmonics. Okay, so I'm just going to jam and see what comes out, which is a good way of working, or the way I like to work. still got some bass playing, which I'm going to mute. So I quite like that kind of bum 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 ba-da-ba-dum bum 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 ba-ba-dum bum 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 bum, something like that. That I quite like, so let me see if I can play that in. I quite like that. Let's unpack the new tracks. Okay. As I think I said before, I want to be a kind of multi-instrumentalist. That's my eventual aim, and also want to be a grade 8 on the piano. So I decided when my son, who's 19 months old, was about 1, that I wanted to do this, which was great timing. So I started the piano in June. I obviously played a little bit before, but so I'm kind of getting to a point where I could start playing things in and it's not offensively out of time, which is a good feeling. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing that, I thoroughly recommend it because it starts to diffuse into your or kind of permeate your music music making. It's a good feeling when it does, because you can start to actually play things that sounds kind of decent, and it's a good feeling. A little ba-da-ba-dum bum bum. I want that to go kind of up. I find singing a really important part of the process, actually, is just trying to sing little hooks and melodies for bass lines, or just different things, because locked away in your head is a kind of a map of all the music you've heard, even if it's just in your subconscious and everything that's really spoken to you. And I think if you sing, you start to tap into it. Sorry about that. I've got the notifications on. Don't know if you heard that. So let me just switch off notifications. So when I actually kind of go through and produce this properly, I'll probably go through and just work on the bass line in terms of the groove with the beats and stuff. Because you can see, I mean, me saying that, playing things kind of in time, you can see they're not actually. da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I could try something like this now. Do that an octave higher and do a little pew, little slide. So keeping in the key, although it's probably not 100% necessary, but I want to land on a kind of a good note in the scale. That makes sense. D. So I'm just going to mute the guitar for a second, just focus on this bass line. I just want to see if I've got what legato mode I've got on. Have I got glide on? I've got to be careful with those crossover notes because they're not sounding. I want that to kind of have a little thing on it. And what you notice actually, I think what's happening sometimes is I've got this all going through a basic LFO, just a LFO tool, sorry, just to have a bit of sidechaining going on. I think sometimes if it's not in time, it's actually the attack's going before the LFO and it's making it sound a bit too bright. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I'm going to try putting a bit of delay on here. Okay, let's see how that compares to this. Yeah, they actually work quite nicely interchanging. Let me just copy this across. I'm going to try some of the guitars and see how it works. Okay, I'll just copy that sample across because I want to see if I can use that a bit more. And I'm just going to try chopping out this the keys when the sample plays, just to see what the vibe is. Okay, something weird going on here. Yeah, so I'm just trying things out there just to get a vibe of how things can fit together. What's this guitar part? Yes, I definitely feel like they could be two different sections, the bass following the chords, just adding a bit of contrast. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and I'm just going to turn the stream off, and I'm just going to set up my my other camera so I can do some work on the Behringer Moog, the Boog, and the pedal, and I'll mess around with playing this bass in on the Moog. So I'll see you back in a minute.